Welcome back. All right, Gavin, I interrupted you because of the break, but let me put this to you. I accept it has to be restructured. But if the instability, which we've seen exacerbated since Marikana, not that it was there before, and I buy your argument about the history, continues, why won't investors simply say goodbye? They're much more profitable places to mine than South Africa, and we're going to go there.
Well, I think there is always that risk,
but isn't that risk getting bigger by the day?
It does, and it's getting more and more severe. I think particularly in the gold sector, which gold, unlike platinum, we're contributing 12%, I think, to the global production, whereas in platinum we dominate 80% of the world's market. So the relationship between investors and that asset is also driven off what percentage of that market we can control worldwide. But I think we shouldn't get too hung up on scare stories about what investors will do. I think the critical issue is for South African CEOs of the companies, the labor leaders that we have around the table right here with us, together have to put down, to put in place a restructuring framework that all parties can see value in.
Well, let me ask you this then. Where's that coming from you people at least? I mean, all right, fair enough, it may not be coming from the mining sector, but other than labour demands and trying to get bigger share of the workforce's representatives than them, where's that coming from you?
I think we need to be conscious of the fact that workers are there to sell their skills. And at the same time, when you read at the end of the day the finished production in terms of the reports by companies, you see that some companies are definitely making profits out of everything.
Yes, but they've got to make a return on their capital, otherwise they won't be.
It's true. Our argument is that it's now the time that they need to remember those who are unearthing those products underneath, so that they have a happy working class.
Well, let me ask you this. Since you two guys can't even talk to each other, how on earth are we going to have this restructuring debate? I don't mean you and you as Peter and Jeff.
I fully understand.
I just want to make it clear.
No. Look, the NUM has never had any squabbles with any labor movement, trade union movement. This is an artificially created crisis between AMCU and NUM.
Well, is that...
No, hold on.
I'm going to play you something.
I want you to do that.
I want to show you
because the fact of the matter is, Solidarity, WASA, many other stakeholders have been in the industry. We found them there. They found us there because we are the oldest trade union movement. And we've never had issue with them. As long as they have the required representation in terms of the recognition agreement and in terms of the framework of the Labour Relations Act, we worked side by side with them. The new kid on the block chose a different route on how to do business. And that's what actually created the intolerance.
Maybe, but what I'm really putting to you is that when one side blames the other, it's hardly conducive to kind of getting around a table and the restructuring. So if I can just show you, for example, as an illustration, we've got a clip here of the kind of discourse that's emanated from your union.
It will start with a particular section of workers, and they will start to raise grumblings, and that would result in an illegal strike. And back to that illegal strike, a union would then emerge and claiming to be representing these workers after the effects. Since this illegal action has started, people are being recruited in the hilltop to join a particular union. Some workers has been forced out of the hostel and to join that grouping in the hilltop.
Well, that's not very helpful, is it? I mean, you saying they've got their members through duplicitous means.
No.
Well, what did he say there? That's exactly what he said.
You see, we must not misrepresent the context
in
which...
the viewers have now seen that clip.
Hold on. Let me put that into the right context. there is a labor legislation
Right.
and the rule of law.
Yeah.
And what France raises is that within the hype of ill discipline and anarchy, a trade union is born. Now, whatever the reasons may be or the agenda behind that, I don't think we should sit and debate that. What we should sit and debate is whether any trade union, for that matter, works within the confines of the law. And when you do that, because we are dumping the industry and also the country deeper into crisis if we move outside of the framework of the law.
But the point...
Hold on.
Well, no, hang on a minute. I'm simply putting to you that whether they're the new kid on the block or not, the kind of explanation given here is not conducive to kind of getting together with people who now do have representation of a lot of workers, whether you like it or not, and in fact been held by the Labour Court.
No. Don't misrepresent the judgment of the Labour Court.
What was that?
The judgment of the Labour Court was not on the merits or the demerits of the case put forward. It was whether it was a matter that was urgent in the eyes of the court.
But at the end of the day, they've got representation.
No, they do. Nobody denies that. For now,
You're going to have to work with them.
For now, we are not denying that. We are accepting it until we've proven the contrary. Because if you have a situation where the law clearly states that when a member resigns from a trade union, that member must give notification to the trade union to which he belongs. We have not received that, first and foremost. Secondly, the verification process was not allowed.
But whether
now, if AMCU has the representation, whether rightfully or wrongfully so, we are more than prepared to work hand in glove with them.
Well,
Mphahlele sits on the chamber negotiations. By the way, was France ever hostile to you during the negotiations?
We'll get to their statement in a moment. I've got one of theirs too, if it does not upset you. But I mean, this is the problem. You've got, in a sense, a massively adversarial relationship here. You're asking for a restructuring, and I'm playing clips which I could play many of, which indicate a huge degree of acrimony.
I think it's a sad day for the labour movement, frankly. And I'm speaking to both AMCU and NUM. Because above all else, labour leaders need to come together and work in the interest of all employees. We cannot maximise the benefits of employees, which is a fundamental project of any trade union, if we remain divided.
All right.
So whether they will argue over how members were recruited and how they resigned from one unit to another through this phase, unfortunate phase in our history, at a certain point, I would hope that the leadership of both AMCU and NUM found a way to cooperate together in the interest of the labour of labour in general.
And in my little menu for
as they do with other unions.
Yes. Well, in my little menu for this evening's program, I want to get to that. Before I do that, I have to take a break.
News that moves. ENCA.com.